The endless expanse of the South Pacific Ocean doesn't just isolate a man, it slowly strips away his grasp on reality until the sound of his own voice feels foreign. While Daniel Defoe's legendary fictional character Robinson Crusoe spent 28 years stranded on a tropical island, the real-world inspiration behind the masterpiece faced an equally harrowing fight for survival. In October 1704, a hot-tempered Scottish sailor named Alexander Selkirk found himself trapped aboard a leaking, worm-eaten galley ship, locked in a fierce argument with his captain about the vessel's safety. Convinced the ship would sink, Selkirk demanded to be left ashore on an uninhabited volcanic island off the coast of Chile, fully expecting another British vessel to rescue him within days. Instead, the heavy wooden hull of his ship sailed away, leaving him completely abandoned with nothing but a musket, some gunpowder, a few tools, and a Bible. This wasn't a temporary inconvenience. It was the start of an agonizing 4-year and 4-month psychological war against the crushing weight of total silence. The psychological torment of the first few months nearly drove Selkirk to madness, as the sheer terror of isolation kept him paralyzed on the shoreline, eating raw shellfish and weeping himself to sleep. The turning point came when hordes of aggressive sea lions drove him off the beaches and into the dense, mountainous interior of the island, forcing his survival instincts to override his despair. He resourcefully built 2 wooden huts from pimento trees, weaponized his musket against wild goats for food and clothing, and ingeniously domesticated feral cats to protect his shelters from the swarms of aggressive rats that chewed on his feet at night. This extreme isolation completely transformed him physically and mentally. When his shoes wore out, his feet grew so thick and calloused that he could run barefoot over jagged volcanic rocks faster than a hunting dog, and he spent hours reading the Bible aloud just to prevent his mind from forgetting how to construct human sentences. Had a British privateering ship not finally anchored off the coast in 1709, Selkirk would have likely succumbed to a lonely death, turning his incredible story into an anonymous skeleton lost to the jungle. When he finally stepped back onto the bustling streets of London, he was a living sensation, his raw ordeal captivating the public imagination and directly inspiring the iconic story of Robinson Crusoe's 28-year struggle. But the dark irony of his rescue was that the civil world he had desperately prayed to see again felt suffocating and corrupt compared to the untamed freedom of his solitary kingdom. Selkirk found himself utterly unable to adapt to the noise and greed of human society, eventually fleeing back to the sea where he could once again face the honest, unforgiving wilderness. He left behind a haunting legacy that proves the greatest cage we can ever inhabit isn't made of stone walls or iron bars, but of a boundless, empty horizon that forces you to look directly into the depths of your own soul.